Good morning. How are you guys doing? My name's Karen Kong. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this is my weekly This or That video where I post 2 cards during the week, usually a day or 2 before, but last night it was quite late. So anyways, I post 2 cards and I ask people to vote on which one I'm going to make live. So I did post it last night. It was kind of late. I had a few late night owls and a few early birds vote. So I do have a card to make for you guys. I'm just going to get set up. So please say hi if you're joining in. And I'm just going to get it to stream so I can see your comments, okay? Okay, it looks like it's streaming. I'm just opening it up so I can see comments. Okay, looks good. Okay, so, do we have anybody joining and saying hi this morning? Keep me company. Hi, Sandra. Thanks for sticking around. Does that mean you sent Sean out for groceries? Okay, so I think we're ready to go. So I do have a card, and I only had a few votes, but it was pretty unanimous. You guys make it so easy for me. There's never a close call. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera over. So close your eyes if you're watching so you don't get sick. Okay, just a second. Whoops. Here we go. All right. Okay. So these are the 2 cards that I posted last night, and it was pretty unanimous that I was going to make this one. So I'll put this one away. And the colors I used for this are Blushing Bride for the card base, white, and then this is actually the paper from Simply Marbleous, which was the Celebration freebie that for Celebration that just ended. So it's this paper. I thought it made a really great sky. And Crumb Cake for the nest, and Flirty Flamingo. So anyways, I'll post all the details afterwards with the measurements and the colors and the stamp sets that I use, so that if you want to try to create it, you can use those as your guide. Okay, so first thing I need to do is to cut the card base. I'm going to cut the Blushing Bride. So I'll get my paper trimmer out. I'm going to cut it. This is standard. I'm going to take the 8.5 by 11. I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, so the paper trimmer here, I've got, of course, the cutting blade and a scoring blade, so I can do everything at the same time without having to get another tool. Okay, all right, so here is, I'm going to cut this in half. So this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I'm going to cut it into 5.5. Five and a half, and then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, so it makes it a nice crisp fold. Okay, I'm going to get the cutting blade out of the way. This is my scoring blade. Okay, so that's my card base. All right, and then I need a piece of white. So I made this a 1/4 of an inch instead of the usual 1/8 inch, so that you can see more of the card base. So that white is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 5 inches here. And then 3 3/4. All right, and the Simply Marvelous. So since I already made 2 cards, it was a 6x6 sheet, and I cut it into 3x3 so that I get 4 pieces out of it, and then I can make 4 cards. But it is a little tight around the edges when you go to paste it down, to make sure that it doesn't, you don't have like an edge showing. So if you wanted to make it a little easier, you can make it a bit bigger, but I wanted to try to maximize my paper. So I'm going to cut it 3x3. Okay. So that's that, and I'll leave the tag with the sentiment at the end, and then I have some scrap paper for doing some die cutting. Okay, so what am I going to do first? I think I'll put this card here as my guide, and I think I'm going to cut that center hole here. So it's a die cut, and it's from the Birds and More dies. This is the Birds and Branches stamp set, and then the dies that coordinate with it. So this is the die. Okay, so that. So this is embossed, actually. The paper, I embossed it with the, which one is it? This Subtle 3D. And it's like very subtly embossed, just with lines. I'm debating whether or not to, I can't remember if I did it, the embossing first yesterday, or did I cut it yesterday? I think I must have cut it. No, I don't know. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. We'll try it. I think I will emboss it first, and then I'll cut it. Okay, so let's try that. Let me just get my cut and emboss machine. Okay. So this is a 3D. This is a 3D embossing plate. So that means for the embossing plates, I need just number 1, the bottom, and all the instructions are right here. It shows me right here I need number 1 and number 4. So number 1 and number 4. Okay, so I think I want the vertical lines. Is that what I did before? Yes, vertical. Sorry. So I'm just going to line it up here. I'm going to use the edge of the embossing folder as my guide to make sure that the lines look straight. Does that look straight? Okay. So I close it up, and the folded edge here always goes in first. Okay, pull it through. Okay. All right. So see, now it's like embossed. Okay. So now I'm going to cut. So now for the cutting part, because these are metal dies, it shows me here that I need 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and then the number 3 are the cutting plates. 2 is like kind of like a shim. Yes, I love this embossing folder too, Sandra. It's very subtle. Sometimes you want a little bit more, but sometimes you just want just something to take away like the plainness of just all the white space. So, and I want this to, am I centering this? I think that looks about right. Okay. So look at that. Isn't that pretty? There. Great. It worked out. Okay, let me just get rid of this. I'm just going to brush up all the little pieces because I'm going to need to use this again. And I don't want to leave all the little pieces on the plate because it will cause impressions in your paper if you get them stuck underneath by accident. All right, that's cleaned off. All right, let's move this. Okay, what are we going to do next? All right. So what I think I could do next is I'm going to assemble my card, just the background, and then I'll do the stamping. Okay. So I'm going to fold my card. Actually, I don't need to fold my card yet. I'll leave it flat. Okay, and I'm just going to figure out where I'm going to put my paper. So I know that it's going to be, oh. Huh. So yesterday I die cut it with these in the wrong position, and so that's how I ended up. The original card was actually a landscape card like this, but then when I realized my die cut was the wrong way, I had to turn it, so I changed it. But now today I did the opposite. Okay, I guess we'll trim it. Sorry, we'll turn it, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so I want it approximately in the middle, I think, because I should have cut this in the middle, because I don't want the edges to show. Right? Okay, so I'm going to put it in the middle. Where did my tape go? Shall I use glue? That way I have a little bit of wiggle room afterwards to adjust it if it's not quite in the right position. There we go. Okay. I'm going to use tweezers so I don't get my fingers into the glue. Okay. So that looks about the middle. I'm not going to press it down yet, so I'm just going to compare against here. I think I'm going to push it over. See, I can see there's a little line there, so I'm going to just push it over just a little bit now. Okay, that looks perfect. All right. So I'm going to stamp the little nest here. So this nest is in Crumb Cake. And I'm going to bring out the Stamparatus because I love it so much. I've been using it more and more. Oops, I still have the bird on here. So the Stamparatus you can use with both the cling stamps and the photopolymer, but there is a difference in the thickness of the stamp. So the photopolymers are thinner, so you need to put behind it, which is a foam mat, and it comes with the Stamparatus. So when you're stamping with the photopolymer, you need this foam mat so that it's raised up, the surface is raised up enough so you can stamp flat, and then when you use a cling stamp, you take it away because they're thicker and you don't need that height. So right now, because I'm using photopolymer stamps, I'm going to keep that mat there. And I have paper here just in case I want to stamp off, but which you see, like I've got partial sheep and stuff. But today I'm not going to be stamping off the paper, so that's fine. So I don't really need it. Okay, back to the nest. All right. So I'm going to get the nest stamp out. piece of paper. Okay. Actually, I have a scrap piece that's perfect for this. Okay, so the good thing is that when you're using the Stamparatus, like, I can just position this right where I want it. Okay, so the flat side up. I'll take away the bird here. Okay, and I'll just press it onto my plate, and that's where it's going to end up stamping. Oops, I forgot to put the magnets on top to make sure my paper doesn't move. There, and let's put this one here. I'm just going to double check my paper. Okay. All right, so let's ink that up with Crumb Cake. I'm going to press it on. Oh, okay, so it lifted a tiny bit, but I can see it's a tiny bit, the stamp impressions are a little bit, it's a little bit light there, so I'm just going to press one more time, which is the beauty of using Stamparatus. I can just put it down again, and it will exactly be in the right spot. So now I'm happy with that. Okay, so just going to clean my stamp. I'm just using a baby wipe. Although I did discover last week that Stampin' Up! Has a, what they call, what is it? It's a cleaning chamois of some sort. I forget what the exact name is, but I did order it because all I need then is water, and I'll just reuse it. And then I won't get any, you see this? It has like fibers sticking out. I won't get any of the fibers stuck on it, on my stamps. And I can keep reusing it, just wash it out. So I'm looking forward to having that arrive soon. Okay, so I'm done with that. What else do I need to stamp? I need to stamp my eggs and my bird and my flowers. So let's do that. And then we'll do all the die cutting at once. Bird. Let's get my bird out. And the eggs. I wonder if I could just do it all at once. Well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves and get confused. Okay. Alright, so I can use this same piece of scrap to do some other stamping. I'll leave room for die cutting. Okay, so I think I'll do the bird here. Oops, so the flat side has to be up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to switch my magnet over there to keep the paper from lifting. Okay. I'm going to do the bird in early Expresso. And there is another stamp for this bird that fills in the bird, but I like it without the chest filled in. I like it the way it is. So, let me just clean this off. It won't make a difference cleaning that off. It's just I don't want to get my fingers in it. That looks pretty good. I think I want it a little bit darker, so I'm just going to ink it one more time and stamp it one more time. That looks good. Okay, let me just clean that off. Take this away. Okay. Now I just need to get another scrap for the little eggs and the flowers. And if you're like me, you keep tons of scraps around. I have so many scraps of paper. I put them into an envelope so I don't lose them. Okay, this piece is bigger. I'll do the eggs on one side and the flowers on, maybe I'll be able to fit the flowers on that other side. Okay, so my eggs are in Blushing Bride. So you can see my eggs from last night on the ink pad. Okay. Okay, that one turned out darker. I think I want those ones to be a little bit darker too. So once again, I'm just going to ink it up again. That's better. See, there's like subtle shading here. I really like that. It's not just a big, you know, oval in a flat color. It actually has shading built right into the stamp. Okay, take away the eggs. And I'm going to do flowers. I may not be able to fit all the flowers. I have 3 flowers. I might not be able to get them all. But we can get 2 on here probably. We'll see. There we go. And the flowers I did in a darker pink. It's Flirty Flamingo. Oops. That looks good. Just gonna move it to here. Ink it up again. Okay, I wonder if I have room on that little section at the bottom to fit that last flower in. That would be ideal. It's pretty close. Oh no. Well, yeah, that's too close to call. I'm gonna get another scrap. Let's see. One more scrap piece. If this is big enough. Oh yeah, this will fit. Okay. See, this is why I keep all the scraps, because I don't want to cut up a big huge piece of paper just for one tiny little flower. Oops. Okay. Yes, I am loving the Stamparatus Standard. I use it so often now, especially, you know, when you make a mistake and you didn't press hard enough in one spot. It's just so easy to fix that when you're using this. Perfect. All right, that's all the stamping on the... Oh no, you know what? I have one more thing to stamp. I have the sentiment to stamp. So let's do that before I put this away. Okay, so I have a piece of Balmy Blue. And the sentiment actually comes from a different stamp set. It's from the Forever Fern. I just wanted like a small word. And this one had the word hello. So like I said, this is a cling stamp. So now I have have to remove this foam layer so that it's the right height for stamping. So let me just do that. So here we go. I want this to be right against the bottom so that I don't have to trim the bottom, hopefully. Okay. The grid line makes it easier to line up. See, I can just kind of eyeball it. It's my head in the way. Where did I put my card? I want a little bit more room on this side, I think. I think that looks a bit straight. Yes, if I wanted my burn to face another direction, I could do it using the Stamparatus. I haven't tried that yet, and I know that I need a silicone mat to achieve that, but I haven't tried it yet. Okay, so I need, I did my sentiment in early Expresso, so let's drag this out again. So I found yesterday that I actually got a kind of smudged sentiment because I pressed too hard. So this time I'm going to be careful not to press too hard. Let's just take a look. See the nice thin lines? Yesterday they were coming out fatter because they were being pressed too hard. I want it to be darker though, for sure, because I can see that it's a little bit light on the H. And that's where the Stamparatus is just so handy. Like, you just want a slightly, darker impression, and you can do it again, no problem with this. See? Now that stands out much more. Oh, I'm starting to press a teeny bit too hard because I can see the L is starting to get a little too fat. But that looks good. I'm going to leave it like that. All right. I think that's it for stamping. Did I get everything? Yes, I think I did. All right. So now we can go on to cutting. Oh no, how did that happen? I don't remember doing that. Okay, that's fine. We'll turn it over. I'm going to do it on the other side so that I can just use that same piece, because I'm going to cut this sliver off anyways. Let's do this again. Sorry. I don't know how that happened, how I got like that extra image. I must have dragged it across by accident. All right. One more time. See, this is totally unscripted, totally live, not very well, not planned out, because I did this so late last night. Bloopers happen. There we go, one more time. All right, this time I'll try not to get an extra impression there. I don't know how that happened. Okay, let's make sure my fingers aren't inky. All right, now we're good to go. All right, I can put the Stamparatus away. I'm going to bring back the die cutting machine. And we'll cut everything out. So I'm just putting the magnet back. I noticed it was lying out. Okay. Where did the top plate go? Let's cut out the bird and the nest. Okay. Half your time when you're crafting is trying to figure out where everything went to. You put it down and 2 seconds later you don't know where it's gone to. Okay. So I'm lining this up to cut out my nest. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a really good point. You can lay everything out just like Sandra said, and then if it's on the Stamparatus, you don't have to move anything, and then it's all positioned where you want it to go, and then you just ink it and stamp it. I think this plate moved it just a tiny bit. Sorry. There we go. All right, let's push that through. I really need to find a way to brace my mount. It always wobbles every time I do stamping and cutting. All right, there's my nest. And I need my bird. So this is the bird. There we go. I just love how it just looks so beautiful when you cut it out, and it just looks so clean. All right, there's the bird. There's that, and I need my eggs. I think I'm going to cut the flower at the same time, but I'm going to put them far away from each other because we know what happened last week when the dies shifted and they ended up overlapping and damaging them. Fortunately, they still work. Okay, this flower is a little bit tricky. I gotta figure out which orientation to use because one, you know, some of the orientations don't fit exactly. That looks like it works actually. Because if you turn it, you can tell that it's like not quite right in some. Well, that looks fine too. Huh, okay, I'm gonna go with that one. Alright. Just have 2 more flowers to cut out. Yeah, so it's been a bit crazy lately. It's coming up to a dance competition season, and for, you know, the parents who know all about this, it means like there's all this stuff to get ready. I've been looking at makeup lists and shoes I have to buy and things that, yeah, all the stuff you need for the comp, and it's just been a little bit extra busy. Plus I've been having a Facebook party for somebody else, so that's new for me. So that's been a real learning process. So that's taking up a lot of time too. So there I was last night, and you know, trying to get my cards done. But it was nice. Like, you know, I really enjoy making cards, and it was relaxing at the end of the day after rushing around to get, you know, Karis to dance and dinner made and all that, to sit down and do some card making. Something for me rather than just doing stuff to support the family. Oh, there we go. No, I'm telling you, like, I can tell that it's not quite the right orientation. It doesn't look terrible. This is me and my perfectionist tendencies. Alright. Oh, a shortage of canvas ballet shoes. Oh, you know what? This year, Karis is not competing in ballet, so I'm good. She's only competing in 2 tap numbers and a jazz. So I have to get jazz shoes, possibly. All right, I think I'm all done with that die cutting. We can start putting this together. Sorry, I have the squeakiest chair. Can you hear my chair squeak? Okay, back to the card base, and we're doing it this way now because I die cut it this orientation instead of the other orientation. That's fine. Okay, so before I glue this down, I have to put my my nest behind it. Okay, so I want my nest to show through like this. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put glue on these parts on the back because I don't want to accidentally have the glue showing through the holes. So the best way to do this, I think, is to have the glue applied here. So I'm not going to put it on the leaves because I discovered last night that I wanted to tuck my egg behind this leaf, but it was already glued down. So today I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to do just the glue behind the branches. And I'm just going to use little dots, and that's why this fine tip glue pen, well, they actually have two ends. You have like a big fat tip on this end, which I never use, and then I have the fine tip, which I use just to do little dots of glue, which makes, oh, I see, I just went and did it. Okay, I'm just going to wipe that off. I don't want to glue that one down. Okay, so just the branches. No leaves, so that I can lift them up if I want to add the layer behind it. See, it makes like fine detail gluing easy for die cut stuff. And just a little bit around the edge. There, because I know that this is going to be approximately like this. So I just need a few dots of glue here to make sure it holds down. All right, so I'm going to turn it over and drop it on to my nest so then I can position it properly. All right, I think that looks good. Put it like this. Let me just double check the back. I have a little bit of glue sticking out there, so let's see if I can position this a little farther up. That's probably okay. Just gonna wipe it away. All right, that's fine. Okay, now I am going to glue on my eggs. So my eggs, where do they go? Tiny little guys. I'm going to put one behind. Okay. And two in front. I'm using my tweezers because my fingers, I couldn't get them to pick up those little eggs. Oops. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put one behind here, and I'm just gonna put like a dot of glue at the very bottom. Whoops, I'm gonna take the lid off. I take one egg, put a little bit of glue at the bottom. You know what? I just did the wrong side. That's okay. That side's going to face the card, so I'm just going to wipe it off. Okay, turn it over. I'll put the glue on the correct side because it's being stuck to the back of the nest. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to slide it underneath. It's going to be a little bit off-center because I want to leave room for my bird. Okay. Now I can fit my little egg there and here. I'm just going to lay it out so I can see that it fits properly. Oh, I stamped the wrong bird. It's this one's this way. I wonder if I can do it the opposite way. That would probably work too. Let me just see. I laid it out. sideways up. If I get it like this, and like this, and then I put the hello over here. Okay, so that's what we'll do. Although I need to move my bird over. I have a bunch of white space here I hadn't anticipated. Well, if I put the bird there, it's like the mommy bird is like ignoring her babies. You know what? I think I might just, I wonder if I can still move this egg. Not dry yet. Oh, yes I can. Let's see if I can do that instead. I'll move the eggs over. There we go. Let's see. That's still good. And then, like that. And then we'll put the hello over here. Look at that. Okay. I wonder if there's enough, I think there's enough glue on that egg still that it's gonna stick. Now I'm gonna put the eggs, the other eggs down. So I'll put the glue on the back of these. Okay. Thank you, Sandra, for verifying the eggs need to move over, and thank goodness I did use glue and not a glue dot, because then otherwise I would have been committed to keeping that egg there. All right, dots of glue. Okay. And I know that because I didn't glue the leaves down, I can tuck that behind, which is what I wanted to do. Angle a little bit. Okay. Put the other egg here. And then put the mommy bird on. Or maybe it's a daddy bird. Maybe it's a stay-at-home dad. Ha ha. I think I might use a glue dot because there's a layer underneath before it sticks to the nest, and the glue dot will give it just a little bit of height. So let me just get my glue dot. Yeah, this worked too. The layout didn't completely. This is completely different from what I planned, but that's okay. Still working. All right, so I want my glue dot to be, I want this guy here, so I want the glue dot there. And I can see through the paper, so I know, where the glue dot's gonna end up. And I want another glue dot to secure him. Body's here. Maybe I'll put one over here. Let's just see. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna put one over. Oh, my glue dot is here. All right, and I'm gonna stick him on. There we go. All right. I'm going to wait till I adhere this to the paper. No, you know what? I'm going to do it now. I was thinking I would glue this white to the base first, but then I can't press very well because I'm going to put this white on dimensionals. So I'm going to do all my stuff here first before I adhere it to the card base. So let's see. Flowers go here. A little bit lower. Sorry, I don't usually design like, I don't want to design on screen because that makes me nervous, but, and it takes time. Okay. Get here. If it was a daddy bird, you'd be able to get away with the bird looking away from the eggs. Ha ha! I like that, Sandra. That's right, the daddy bird would be like, yeah, they're fine. No, they're not going anywhere. Why do I need to look at them? Okay, let's put, I'm gonna put it, the layer, so you can see like this one is layered on top. So I think I'm gonna raise this top one up on a glue dot, and I'm gonna use glue for the one that's behind. So then they will lie flatter, because it's not a big deal. I just thought of it now. Still making me laugh. The daddy bird facing away. Yep, that would be a daddy bird. He's watching like the squirrels. Okay, I'll get the glue dot for this one. I find that if the glue dots don't come off the sheet easily, I just need to press it down onto the paper so it sticks to the paper more, and then it's fine. Okay. And one more. Use a little bit of glue for this one. That came out blob. And I'll put it over here. Let's see. Like this. Okay. And then I do have rhinestones for that. I put rhinestones in the center of the flower, which I thought looked pretty. And I'm going to use the take your pick tool to pick it up, because it's way easier than trying to pick it up with my fingers. So you just push it off and it sticks. Place it. Super easy with the take your pick tool. All right, that looks good. And then I have my, I have my sentiment. Okay, so I've got to cut my sentiment out. And this is where I really love the paper trimmer. Oops. Because with my old paper trimmer, I could not cut thin pieces of paper because it would shift. Sorry. It would shift around, and it would sometimes tear it, or it would cut on an angle because the paper didn't stay straight. But if you look at the paper trimmer from Stampin' Up, it has these guides here that hold like really tiny pieces of paper in the spot. So I think I'm gonna, okay, so I think this side is probably a little bit wider than I would like, but let's see. I'm gonna cut like this. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to cut upwards so it presses into the guides to help keep it straight. Look how easy that was. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this off. I'm not really measuring, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Actually, I should just check, because this is a different layout now, how much I want. So I'm thinking it's going to go up here. And if I cut it, I'm going to leave like maybe 1/4 of an inch, and then I'll trim the other side too, because I think it's too long. So I can see here, this is 1/4 inch from the cutting line, so I'm going to leave it 1/4 inch from the end of the hello. And again, I'm going to cut upwards so that my paper is pressed against the guide. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim the other end. I think I want to trim off, at least 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so there's guides on this side too, so this I can measure against that side, and I'll cut off 1/4 of an inch. Looks good. See, I could not make these tiny little cuts with my old paper trimmer. Sandra can't believe I am all eyeballing it. I know, I'm usually all about like measuring and like being exact. Okay, so now that I'm holding it up, I think it's too long and I'd like it to be a little thinner. Okay, so I'm going to trim off just a tiny bit more on the right side and then cut a bit more off the bottom. And I couldn't, I'm telling you, I could not do this if I was using my old paper trimmer. It just would not, it would not happen. I would tear the paper. Actually, no, I could probably use scissors to trim the end, but I've got it out already. Okay, so look how tiny that is, and it cuts it nice and straight. Okay, and same for this. Okay, this one might be a bit trickier because there's only one guide holding it in place. But let's see what we can do. Okay, oops, I'm gonna get the blade back here. And I'm trying to just line it up before I let go, because as soon as I let go, it like shifts a little bit. There we go. Okay, and hopefully the ruler will hold it down. Okay, now that crumpled, but the edge is still okay. Let's see. I know, risky. Let's see. I think that looks about right. The other place I could put it is down here too. I wonder if I could even snip this, because I can feel there's a, see there's a little divot. Just a very slight sliver. I know, this is me being OCD, because I can see it. I just can't unsee that. Okay, I'm gonna put this away. And I think I'll just stick with putting it in the right, top right. Let's see, I'm gonna use glue. It's easier than trying to get the, oh, you know what? I could use a tear and tape. That would work really well too. Just get that out. Okay. So the tear and tape will be nice and straight, and I don't have to try and press down the Stampin' Seal and get it to start in the right spot. So I just need approximately this much. Tear it off. Stick it on. And I'll take off the backing. And that should be good. Alright. Oops. Once again. I like having tweezers because then I can see where I'm positioning it without my fingers getting in the way. There we go. Alright. So now I need my dimensionals to stick it on finally. See, this is why it takes me so long to make a card. Because I'm like always lining things up and making sure. Okay, this is going to go on like this. I'm going to need my dimensionals. Okay, so you can use every part of the dimensional. I'm going to just tear this off because nobody sees what's behind there. So I'm going to use this funny shaped piece. I'm going to put it in the middle because I want to make sure that my the middle of my card stays up too. And I'm going to tear off this long strip here on the side to use down the side here. Let's leave half. There. Another long strip for the other side. Same thing for the top and bottom. And I'm going to put some in the corners too, just to make sure. Okay, it's too wide. I'm going to put this one, I'm not going to put it over top because I know that this is an extra layer. It might make it sit funny. So I'm going to put it right up to it, but not on it. Okay, and then I'll just use the regular dimensionals to do the corners. Oh, I'm off screen. Thanks for letting me know, Sandra. You're right, I forget. And I purposely taped this down so that I have a point of reference, but I forget sometimes. Whoops. There, and then maybe one here. I think we're good. That's a lot of dimensionals. Okay, let's take off all the backing. I thought it was a good time to bring out the spring stuff because, like, it's March, right? We're getting close. Although you know what that means. If there is spring, that means I'm going to start with sneezing. And who knows how the lives are going to go if I'm sneezing. All right. Okay, so now I'm just going to position this over top of my balmy blue marvelous paper because that's my sky. Perfect. And I'm going to fold this card in half. There we go. And that's the card. It's completely different. Well, not completely different. It's a different layout from the original, but you know, last night, like I said, I cut it this way and it was opposite from what the original layout did. And now I had to do it the other way because I cut it, again, the wrong orientation, but that's okay. You know, I think it still turned out fine. And now I have two similar, but really pretty cards. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks for joining in, and Sandra, especially, I like it when you're, you know, when people are live because then, you know, people can talk to me. I don't feel like I'm talking to myself, although it is a bit weird sometimes when Joey's sitting right next to me and he's working. Right now he's gone out, yeah, it's better when I'm by myself at least. But and I like having everybody, you know, comment when I'm doing stuff because it's more fun that way. So anyways, if you did watch, comment and, you know, let me know what you thought. And thanks, Sandra, for joining in live. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.